Hello, everyone. I am Krandall Brantley for Buckeyes Daily. It is Michigan week. Before we get into that, let's talk about Chip Kelly. He was fired Sunday from the Raiders as offensive coordinator, and the Raiders were 30th in the offense. They were 31st, surprisingly, in rushing yardage, and they're 2-9. So I see why that happened, but there were a lot of issues in Vegas. The offense or play calling not the only issue there, and we know from recent history that Chip Kelly is still a very elite play caller. Just less than a year ago, he led Ohio State to over 35 points per game in their playoff run and won the Natty. So why not just run it back? Just come back to Columbus, be an advisor, an analyst, and make this run happen again and get you a ring. Now, for the offense side, you have offensive coordinator Brian Hartline, but the play calling duties, the game plan is this by committee. You have quarterback coach Brian Kessler. He's involved. You have Billy Fessler, and O-line coach Tyler Bowen. They're all involved with the game plan. So why not add Chip Kelly's insight to that? The only issue would be do not have Chip Kelly all up in the videos, the TV broadcast, press conferences, and you can't have let's say Ohio State wins national semifinals game on a late game touchdown drive. You can't have Ryan Day hugging Chip Kelly on the field post game like he did the Penn State game last year. That couldn't happen. Let him be involved, but don't make it about him. But yes, Chip Kelly, just come back to Columbus, get you another ring, and see what happens then. Maybe, depending on what happens with Brian Hartline, he could be the next OC at Ohio State. We don't want that. I mean, you got all these receivers coming to Ohio State, but for this season, just come on back and get you a ring. Okay. Ohio State is the reigning national champs. They have the longest win streak in the country, D1. Their defense is number one, and they're viewed as the premier program in the sport. And with all these things, I still don't think Michigan truly respects them. I think Michigan players and the coaches have been talking more trash because of this losing streak that OSU is currently on. You had Michigan defensive end Derek Moore. He said that OSU's Natty was not a real win because they didn't beat Michigan. You had Jim Harbaugh a few years ago basically said that Ryan Day started on third base as head coach at Ohio State. You had, let's say, a couple years ago, receiver Samaj Morgan in the locker room for Michigan talking trash, a lot of expletives, talking about Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't know why. Then Kyle McCord and expletives on Ryan Day too, and Michigan planned to flag again last year, which led to the brawl and all that. And also, you had Sherrone Moore, head coach of Michigan. He mimicked planting a flag at a Michigan basketball game. I believe it was last December, prior to Ohio State winning the Natty. And I think the whole mimicking the flag painting thing was also a taunt based off of a very idiotic and just completely corny bill proposed by an Ohio lawmaker after Michigan's win. He wanted to make that a felony to plant a flag at Ohio State to the point where the players would go to prison for 6 to 12 months. How idiotic is that? That is extremely corny. And if Michigan felt like they won last year because OSU was soft, just that type of thing just makes them feel that way even more. And so with all these things, there's even a site that our Michigan fans have, and it tracks how many days it's been since Ohio State has beat them. And it's currently at 2,187 days. It'll be 2,190 on game day or the day before. So, what can OSU do to fix all this? Go out and dominate. Win the line of scrimmage. Win in the trenches. Make sure to use your top two receivers in the whole sport to your advantage. Have Caleb Downs crack someone. Make them flip like they did Boston in the 90s. Like, I want to see that type of stuff out there. Make sure you dominate and control this game. So when y'all leave with a W, there couldn't be any Michigan coordinators waving goodbye when y'all go in the tunnel. Now that's going to happen, and there'll be no post-game trash talk. Gotta take care of business Saturday. So please, get the dub. All right. So a lot of focus is going to be on the two QBs. Julian Sain for Ohio State, Bryce Underwood for Michigan. And I don't expect Julian Sain to go for 350 and 4 touchdowns on Wink Martindale's defense, or put up similar or better stats what Mendoza is going to do against Purdue this weekend. But I do expect Sain to do what he's done all year and be very efficient and accurate and consistently move the chains on third down. And with that, if he's able to methodically just move the ball and control the game that way, and has a couple touchdowns and just wins the game and makes Michigan players and fans live with that L 365, and if that's not enough for Heisman voters to be impressed, then it should probably not be Heisman voters. So for him to win the game, he's more experienced than he was for Texas game when they said just win the game. But if he just wins the game and he's very efficient moving the ball, he doesn't have to have like these crazy stats. He just needs to win and give him a chance to be in that running for the Heisman next week. All right. Okay. The coaching staff for Ohio State has had over a month to prepare for the final stretch of the season. That includes this game. So I don't see OSU switching their style up in this game and going five wide shotgun or going full up tempo all game just to change things. I think they're going to be content with controlling tempo, controlling time of possession in the game, being very consistent in converting third downs. I think they're going to lean on that number one defense to shut Michigan down and make sure when it's those key plays, goal line, red zone, third down, taking advantage of the running backs, taking advantage of having the two-star receivers and the star tight end. Like, that's what I think they're going to do. And I think Ohio State will be up 13-6 at halftime, but be like complete control of the game. I think that's going to happen, and they'll know going to the tunnel that they're one play away from breaking the game open and ending the game. A two-score lead for Ohio State is like 4 or 5 touchdowns in the Big 12. That's how dominant OSU's defense has been. And so OSU, second half, will force an early punt. That'll be the first punt they forced in the second half in this game since 2019. And just for some context, they had 2 interceptions last year, but no punts. So that stat still stands. And I think OSU will have a long drive, kill a lot of clock in the third quarter. It will end on C.J. Donaldson short yardage touchdown. And then in the fourth, Jordan Sand, deep ball tutty to Carnell Tate, and it's over. OSU will win 28-16, snapping the losing streak, and going to Indy and finishing undefeated regular season. Go Bucks.